Well, damn, I don't know what just happened there, but alrighty. We had things going on and mixers restarting. But anyway, guys, I always start this show off by showing love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. Once again, I'm starting off with my friends over at Bluon. I get it, guys. I talk about them every week. But I love what this place is doing. I see the stuff that my technicians get to get from this, like when they come tell me like how the tech support has helped them and how they're using the app to find parts. It's amazing. So a lot of you guys, if you don't know, I'm going to publicize this, but I didn't do it for that reason. There was a WeFunder campaign. It was pretty much a lot of people have asked to invest into Bluon. And what I did is I'm their lead investor as of right now. I think the campaign closed. I invested $10,000 into Bluon of my own money. That's how I believe in them. So that should say something. A lot of people think that a lot of us, we talk about these companies because we're sponsored and we get paid to. Guys and girls, one thing I'll tell you is I will never say anything about a company paid if I wouldn't say it for free. And I absolutely 100% believe in Bluon from the top to the bottom. So guys, if you, what are we saying? Always sounds off. Yeah. So guys, go check out Bluon. Use that as a resource. Have that in your back pocket. It should be one of the most important tools you have in your toolbox. All right. Next, my friends over at Yellow Jacket. As most of you know, I'm a second generation HVAC tech, 20 plus years in the trade, but I always think back to those days of working with my dad that I cherish so much. My dad always said, your tools are an extension of yourself. If you buy quality tools and you take care of them, they'll take care of you. Most of the time, you only have to buy them once. Well, that brand that I think back to is Yellow Jacket. They've been making quality products for 70 years and counting, making them right here in the US of A. If you're looking for quality tools you can depend on and get the job done, then look no further than Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket has been trusted by my family for generations now, and we don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Remember, 70 years of expertise built into every tool. And yes, I have some Yellow Jacket giveaways that will be coming here soon. So make sure that you are subscribed on all the social media platforms to stay up to date. Last but not least, I want to do one more. I'm going to do 3 tonight. I've been sticking with 2, but I'm going to keep supporting this one. And this isn't really a sponsor, but this is just my friend, Mr. Ben Poole. Guys, we all want to spend our hard-earned money. I get it. We buy tools and, maybe we go and we buy these Nike shirts or Under Armour. I mean, I'm wearing an Under Armour shirt now. Why not support your industry, the trade that you love, that you work in every day, by rocking some HVAC tactical gear? Ben makes some of the best products that I've ever seen. His quality control process is absolutely fucking amazing. He has kind of set the standard for all of us when it comes to any kind of merch or selling t-shirts and stuff like that. Just to quite be honest, to be honest with you guys, his t-shirts, his sweatshirts, his hats, the long sleeve shirts, the stickers, the belts, the rings. I mean, you name it. All these things he makes are absolutely of the highest possible quality that you can get. The sweatshirt I have that he sent me is probably one of the nicest sweatshirts I've ever worn in my life. So guys, go support our friend Ben, who is he's giving to our industry through his website, through his training stuff that he does, through the HVAC Tactical Awards, which is absolutely amazing. To be a part of, to be there. So go support Ben and rock your gear, HVAC Tactical. If you buy something and you buy it from you heard on this podcast, do me a favor, put it on Instagram, Facebook, and tag me in it. I would love for Ben to know that that the Uncensored Nation is showing him some support. All right, let's get on to this show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Five, four, three, two, one, #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil KV Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I am your host, Gil KV Jr., here on another fucking hump day, another Wednesday, another show. Thank you guys for being here so much. Let me say hello to a bunch of people in here. Obviously, Mr. Jason Johnson, what is up, my man? Mr. Rookie, what's up, bro? Freon Leon, what is up? What is up? East Coast. Chris Miller, what is up? What is up? Sure, I don't miss anybody. I think that's everybody that I've seen so far. If I missed you, I apologize. I will catch you on a little later. A few housekeeping things real fast before we get on to the show. Audio podcast was not out this week. I'm just going to wait and put it out Monday. I had some stuff with my editor. To be honest, it's my fault. It's not his. So I'm just going to wait, but it's good because now I got a little buffer zone. So that's why a podcast wasn't out. It was just a mix up with transferring files and different things like that because Morgan's amazing. As long as I get him the shit in time, he knocks it out quick, fast, in a hurry. So it's your boy's fault as usual. With that being said, I do have a giveaway I'm going to come do here soon, and I'm also going to talk about some merch stuff, but we can talk about that towards the end of the show. Guys, help me. This is somebody who's been on the show several times, and to be honest, this is funny. When he booked 2 dates, and this is one of the ones that was supposed to be canceled, but we never did, and we decided to keep it. And to be honest, I'm glad that we did because both of the times that I've had him on, it's been talking about the amazing stuff that he and his school and the program that they're doing in trade school, which is absolutely amazing. We've talked about it, but this is cool just to bring him on. We're just going to talk shop. This is just to be talking HVAC. This conversation could go anywhere, but I know with Jimmy, it's going to be a great conversation. So guys, please help me put your hands together and welcome Mr. Jimmy, AKA Porkchop.
What's happening, y'all?
What's up, buddy? Thank you so much for being here. Third time. You're like one of the I think like 3, 4 is kind of like the max. Like that's kind of like the high number of people have been on the show, and you've been on like 3, 4 times in like 5 months.
Yeah, this is the third time. Yeah, so this was I scheduled the 2 more. You said let's just do the first one. We did. And then you said, going to cancel this. And I got a reminder. You're like, yeah, we're still on. Then I reminded you about the conversation. You're like, crap, that's right. So, yeah.
Yeah, I should have canceled. And it's funny because the podcast has been booked up. So somebody would have grabbed it, but fuck it. It's fine. I'd rather talk to you, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm sexy with all this beard.
The thing that sucks, man. Oh, they said echo is in full effect. I'm trying to see. Let me turn this off and turn it back on. See what we got going on. Nothing's on. So, yeah, I'm not sure. It's fine. Guys, when you hear the echo, is it on the whole show? Oh, it said seems better. Rookie, what is it, buddy? It's fixed. Oh, we said it was on Jimmy's end, but it's good now. Oh, that's when this thing, when you hopped out and hopped back in, this is that stupid echo cancellation thing. I have to restart every fucking time.
All right, so no echo, Rookie. I'm all good. Echo 1, 2, 3, 4.
Everybody's saying it's good now, so we'll see. Let me check here. Main stereo. It's good. Okay. Not that I don't trust you guys, but I always wait for Rookie to say it's good. He's been with me a long time, so. Anyway, Jimmy had a great idea. So the fact that he's not crazy far away, he's like 2.5 hours. He was going to come down here and we were going to do the show live. We have a studio in my office and we were going to do it there, but there's some issues there that we weren't able to do it. So it sucks. But Jimmy was going to come down. We were going to do it live. I was actually fucking looking forward to it. He said something last night or the other night, and he was like, dude, I got a better idea. Why don't I come down and we'll do it live? And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do that. Obviously that didn't work out. So fuck.
Yeah, so with me not working right now because I go in for surgery Friday, I was like, well, hell, I'm not doing anything today or tomorrow. I can come up there, drive home tonight, and sleep all day tomorrow. It didn't bother me none.
Yeah, I wish it would have worked out, man. So just so a lot of you local guys know, if you're in the Maryland, Virginia, DC, within driving range, obviously I don't expect anybody to drive too far. When I move in the next month or so, the new studio that I go into is going to be set up to have people inside. So to have people live. So I'll have a spot where it's just going to be obviously me, like I'm doing it now. But I'm going to have another space that when people can come to the studio and we can do things like that. So that's something that I'm looking forward to when we get this new place. Anyway, tell them what's going on with you, man. You fucking ripped your fucking arm socket off, and now you're like going to be Spider-Man and stuff?
Yeah, so y'all don't have to worry about listening to the vape. I went out and bought a special vape just for tonight, so y'all wouldn't hear the noise.
It's funny you say that because where is it? Somebody put in there too. Where's one of the comments? Somebody said, let's hear Jimmy's vape. Oh, quiet as a church mouse.
I'd rather hit mine, but personally, but the noise, I know everyone complained about the noise, so what the hell? So I was setting a ladder up, and it was on the 621. So it's when we had some bad rainstorms in Richmond and wind, and I was kicking the feet out to dig into the dirt, and I was lifting it up. I had my left hand holding up. Well, it lifted and it started sliding. When it did, the front of the ladder slipped and my hand slipped down. So then both rungs were like this around my hand. When it did that, it pulled my arm straight out and to the left and twisted it. And when it did that, that's when I felt the snap. And then the ladder shifted again. I was able to get my arm back out of it. So,
oh, geez.
The doctor did say with the MRI that how I did it, where the tendon snapped, was a good thing because it snapped at the bone. It didn't snap in the middle or at the muscle. So since it snapped at the bone, they can just really pull it, drill a hole through my bone, feed it through the bone, and put a little button on the backside of it. So a button, they call it, to the tendon to keep it from pulling back through the bone. And then I'll have my arm in a sling pretty much for the first week. They said up until I get a therapy because they don't want me to move my arm for the first week. So I'll be stuck like this the entire first week going, this sucks.
All I picture is that guy from what the hell is when he's like,
Grown Ups.
Yes, Grown Ups. When he's just like, hey guys, and they're like, it's good. He's like, oh yeah, I know.
Why?
We're gonna have Jimmy like that.
I'll be walking around doing a Pledge of Allegiance all day long.
Yeah, that's funny. We'll have to say that again. I'll have to play the pledge. I'll start playing this again. Oh, hold on. I pledge allegiance to. All right, that was taking forever. Sorry. But I'm glad you're getting it healed up, man. So everybody, this is why we say this. I say it at the end of every show. Like, be careful out there. You know, Jimmy's been in the field for 20 something years now, you know, and shit happens to anybody. So just be careful. Yes, Jimmy's 2 for 2, man. He's fucking live streaming last night and live streaming tonight. They just said Jimmy was on Adrian's live stream last night. He's fucking popular.
So Adrian asked me Monday night to come on for Tuesday. And I was like, sure, I'm not doing anything because he needed somebody quick. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. And then Tuesday, I got the reminder text from Gil about tonight. And I contacted Gil. We texted for about 45 minutes. And he's like, yeah. And then, like I said, we had the discussion. I thought we were canceling this one. He's like, oh, well, screw it. You're already scheduled. Let's just keep it. So, yeah. So it's funny. Yes, I'm doing two in a row. And if I was scheduled for Jen and everyone else for this week, I'd be a podcast whore this week.
Hey, it's all good, man. These are, and it's just like a phone conversation, but it's being recorded and other people are listening. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And the reason I wanted to keep it is, and not that the other shows haven't been great and we've covered awesome things that you're doing, but this is one that we can just bullshit about different things. You know what I mean? I mean, well, one thing I can ask, has any updates with the school? Anything changed that you'd like to talk about?
So, yeah, we actually had a situation happen at the end of the semester. One of the teachers, one of my second year teachers, he decided to retire from teaching because it was a lot with his current job and everything else. And the school has given us a lot of things to do as instructors to try to make us equivalent to the paid teachers during the daytime. So we have to do lesson plans. We have to do benchmarks. We got to do some more things and everything else that they want us to do to keep the program 100% efficient and fluent. So that's it with that situation. It just was a lot on him with that. So he went ahead and left after I think Chris was teaching 6 years with us at night. So, and he's got a son who's autistic and he needs, spends more time with his son because he's missing out on a lot of stuff. So, and we understand. I told him family comes first always, man. I said, you're more than welcome to come back anytime after things get settled down with him. If you need to come back, more than happy to have you back as a teacher. And then the day school program for plumbing, the plumbing teacher quit at Christmas. He quit.
Oh shit!
So they didn't have a teacher for a while. Then they got one of the buildings guys who does plumbing. He's been doing plumbing for 20, 30 years to come in there, and he taught the plumbing program during the daytime. They had a hard time trying to find a plumbing teacher to take over during the daytime because the pay is dramatically different from what you're in the field with. They're like offering $20,000 less than what guys are making in the field. Yeah, you're making $70,000 in the field, but you're only going to get paid like $45,000-$50,000 teaching. I'm not going to get paid that little bit. Well, you got to look at the benefit side of it, dude. You sit there for 20 years, you got a hell of a retirement. You get better health insurance. You get all these you get paid the entire school year. You're off in the summertime, and you're paid for it. If I had my master's in plumbing, I'd go do it in a heartbeat, but I don't. So they looked, and because of what happened, the plumbing program got a bad rep because the teacher left and the students weren't getting they got screwed basically. So the county decided to 86 the day school plumbing program this semester because they have 150 students, they said, waiting to get into electrical. So they're going to open up another electrical program in the plumbing lab, and we're splitting the lab between day school electrical and nighttime plumbing. So the guys are actually going up there Saturday to divide the lab up and get our stuff, the plumbing lab stuff, all into one side of the lab where it needs to go, reconfigure everything. Last semester, me and a couple of the guys, we spent like 3 Saturdays up there for 8 hours redoing the lab, cleaning stuff up. I mean, we worked our rear ends off on that place. And it was just amazing how much stuff we cleared out and how much trash we got out of there. But yeah, so unfortunately that happens, but now we've got 3 classes. The last of the double class that we had, where we had 2 second years last semester, they're going to be combined into 1 third year class, which I'll have like 32 students in third year. Because I don't see a reason in hiring 1 teacher to do a third year class 1 semester. So I'll just, if they want to hire me, an aide to come help me out during those 2 nights, that's perfectly fine because we'll have more than enough students to cover the aide's pay as well. So I'm sure I can get that done. We're going to do the class in the lab because that way we're going to fit everybody in there. And I look forward to it. They're like, you sure you can handle it? I said, bring it on. It's not uncommon. I taught 2 classes for a whole semester. I can handle that. I can handle 30 guys in one night, and they all respect me, and they're not going to mess around. So I'm not too worried about it. We're going to have some fun this semester.
Nice. When the school starts back up, dude, I'd love to come down there. and spend a couple nights if the school would allow that.
Yeah,
Like, let me come down.
My boss has already given the okay for you to come down. You want to come down on a Monday, Tuesday. You're more than welcome to come down, hang out at the school at night. I know the nighttime. You can see the nighttime program and stuff like that, and everything else. I'm in charge of it, so I do it as I please. So yeah,
nice, cool.
but yeah, you're more than welcome to come down. It is unfortunate that happened, losing a teacher and losing a day school program like that. But unfortunately, things go on. Things have to move. We got to get them. I can understand if we only have 5 guys interested in plumbing and we got 150 in electrical. Well, yeah, the needs to go there. It is what it is.
Supply and demand,
but
can overcome. And
Oh yeah. We're still working.
Somebody's asking, where? I'm sorry. Where are you located again?
Chesterfield, Virginia. So we are just outside. I'm 15 minutes from Richmond city limits, technically. But if you know where Richmond, Virginia is, look to your left on the map, and you'll see Chesterfield.
If you go back, Eric, and search previous episodes, you'll see 2 other episodes that I did with Jimmy. And they should say Jimmy AKA Porkchop. The first one's the one where you actually walk through the school, right? That was the first episode.
The very first episode, because I was covering class for Chris that night because he had to deal with his son's stuff. So yeah.
Jason said, "Is that where Chesterfield cigarettes came from?"
I don't know. I know we have Philip Morris, and Philip Morris is right here in Richmond.
Oh, somebody says I'm in Chesapeake.
Oh, that's not too far. It's only about 2 hours from me.
Well, Chesapeake, that's like them by me then, because you're 2.5 hours from me.
Well, Chesapeake is towards Virginia Beach. So Chesapeake goes Chesapeake's between Virginia Beach and North Carolina.
Gotcha.
So my mom's house is in Chesapeake, and she's 10 minutes from the North Carolina border, if that, off the 168 bypass.
Oh,
so she's at exit 10. So exit 10 is 10 miles from the North Carolina border.
How about that shit? Eric Lewis says Charlottesville is like an hour and a half away, I think.
Yeah, Charlottesville. Depends on where you're going to Charlottesville. Charlottesville, I can get to Charlottesville about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. If we do work out in Boar's Head, at Boar's Head Resort, and we do, if you know where the apple orchard is out there, we have a cell tower, TV tower. We do work out there as well, and we do work at a DoubleTree Hilton. We have a couple other commercial properties out there that we travel to and do work at. So we've got some business out there. So we travel an hour to those places because those people us because they have property here in Richmond. So we go out there, and it looks like I'm frozen.
Yeah, you were good. It kept going through. Well, let's do this, man, because, not that I'm glad that we shed the light on the school side, but let's shed more of the light on the Jimmy side. So day to day, what kind of stuff are you, well, obviously you're not working now because you're injured, but when you were working, what is some of the equipment that you're working on that you take care of and stuff like that?
So it can vary from residential service calls, maintenances for me, to commercial service calls on light commercial, which is, of course, everyone knows residential into commercial application, to commercial package units, to 20-ton package units, ice machine maintenances. It all depends on where they need to send me that day. 9 times out of 10, I'm running mostly residential calls. But they'll send me, hey, we got a commercial call at the TV station. And if it's one of the 2 TV stations we do, I've got ID badges to get into both of them. I'll go in there and go work on one of those 2 stations and do stuff because they both have critical systems there that have to be up and running 24/7 in AC mode. So if one goes down, we have to get there. We have to get there basically as soon as possible and get it up and running.
No, that makes sense. Um, so does your work, like, do you do anything like any kind of training at work? I mean, do they utilize that factor of you or?
So because I'm teaching, and then so what happened was I needed a first year teacher one semester, and we couldn't find them. We couldn't find a first year teacher. So my program third year I only had 3 students, so I canceled third year, and I taught first year, which gave us time to find another first year teacher. We found I called around to people I know, say, hey, how do you feel about teaching at night? You know, this and no one would take it. Now I walked into the shop. One of the guys said, hey, Trevor, you taught over at Fortis for a little bit because you went there and then you taught. How do you feel about teaching first year at Tesla Tech? He's like, I can do that. So he got with the boss, filled the paperwork out, and he got hired in as a first year teacher. So when he walked in, I literally go, here you go. Here's all your tests, quizzes, all your paperwork, everything you need. Your class is written out for you. Syllabus done. So he didn't have to do any prep work. It was already done for him. All he had to do was write lesson plans, and that was it. So Trevor was happy with that. And then the next semester, we got inundated with 30 students for first year, like 35 students. So here I go again, calling around, trying to find somebody to teach another class. No one would bite. So I walked to one of the guys at work and said, hey, Kevin, how do you feel about teaching 2 nights a week and making this much money? He's like, hell yeah, I'll do it. So then the 3 of us were getting off every Tuesday and Thursday. My dispatcher was having a conniption fit because 2 senior techs and a junior tech are getting off all at 4 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And, you know, she's got calls. I'm like, look, the other guys will run those calls on Tuesday, Thursdays late. We'll run calls late on Monday, Wednesdays. Made everyone happy. That's how it went. Then next semester, Kevin moved up with that second year group. And the guys that had Trevor went to Kevin. The guys that had Kevin went to Chris. And then I get them all the third semester. So I tried, you know, with us being teaching, the company's like, hey, you want education? You pass their classes, we'll pay for it. And you sign a contract that says you'll stay with us for 18 months per class. Problem solved.
Good. And do most of you most of the guys in there are older guys. There's some younger guys. I know Sam's younger. So that you guys understand why companies do that when they provide some kind of training and then they say, hey, like he just said, you got to stay there 18 months per class and stuff like that. That's kind of normal. If a company's going to invest the money into you, they need to know that they're going to reap the benefits back from that. So I heard one guy, I saw a post on Facebook one time where a guy was bitching about that. And I'm like, that's pretty common, man. You can't expect a company to invest money in you to get schooling and then you do the schooling and just roll. I mean, that's pretty standard.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, a lot of the companies do that around here. I know that after the very first podcast, there was conversation with some people after the fact about a scholarship and stuff for the program. Well, it hasn't really gone anywhere and everything, so I really haven't pushed it. But I'm going to go while I'm out and I have time. I'm going to go to Wells Fargo because they're one of the national branches that's all over the U.S. It's up in by you. It's out by the West Coast. It's out by Vinny. It's all over the U.S. Everyone can find a Wells Fargo in a heartbeat. I'm going to go to the branch by me and talk to them about trying to figure out a way to start a scholarship fund through their branch and set it up to where people can go in and say, hey, here's the account number. If you want to put money into a thing, have at it. Because the school's already given us permission to basically go ahead and do the scholarship for the HVAC program for the high school students. I wrote up a kind of submission form and sent it to the one person that you and I know who it is to see what he thought of it. And he's just been so busy with what he does, he hasn't had a chance to really look at it. And that's where I said it's kind of fallen through the cracks on that whole ordeal. But I'm still game for it. I still think it'd be a cool thing. And, you know, the nice thing about it is we can take that and not just take it through. Once we work the kinks out through the first year, I would say through my program, with the high school students at Chesterfield, I could take it and get it pushed over to, say, Henrico, to Richmond, to say, hey, we have a scholarship program and we'll pick 2 students. We might pick one from Chesterfield, one from Henrico, one from Richmond, these guys that are really, wanting to apply for it. And we could pick 2 students and, say, hey, you want to continue education in HVAC? Here's a night school you can come to. It'll be paid for, and we'll give you $500 in tools as well. So,
well, how much did you say the school is? Like the whole kit and caboodle. If they come into HVAC through all 3 years, how much is it?
$555 a semester. So 5, 10, 15, 1650, roughly. 1650, 1675.
Well, we'll see what the other person that we know works out. But if I have to, we'll do an HVAC Uncensored scholarship. I'll pay the $1650.
So, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where we'll see how it goes, and we'll try. I'm gonna go by Wells Fargo. I'm gonna go ahead and get the paperwork rolling on that after surgery, after I get that stuff settled down and figured out. Because I've just been focusing on surgery, trying not to lose my mind before surgery by doing things that can keep myself occupied.
Yeah, I bet. So, well, thank God you said that's your non-dominant arm. So, are you right-handed or
I'm
left-handed?
right-handed. So, yes, that's been the running joke as well.
Oh, yeah, you can't
yes.
beat the meat.
Yes.
Yeah, we got it. Can you, oh, damn. So you have to get somebody else to shave your head, right? You don't, because you can't shave it?
No, I go to the barber shop.
Oh, that's right. I remember the day you called me. You were going there.
I go up to Trevor's sister is the general manager of this barber shop. I go there. And actually,
nice.
Yeah. So ironically, the day I hurt my arm, I was set up to go to the Mechanicsville location to be their test. I'm the barbershop's test dummy, basically, for straight razor shaves. They train on my head. Why? Because I do it all the time. I know how it's supposed to feel, and I'm easy to get along with, and the girls love me. But I was set to go do that on that Wednesday. So I was like, all right, well, I texted her and said, hey, I'm at patient first. I hurt myself at work. I'll be there if I can make it on time. She's like, oh, you okay? I was like, I'll be fine. So I get there. I walk in there, my arms in a sling. They're like, oh, my gosh, like, I'm still here. I'm a little bit of pain, but I'm here. So they're like, I can't believe you came. I'm like, well, I made a commitment. I'm going to honor my commitment. And I was talking to her yesterday, and she said she's going to need me at the end of this month, beginning of next month for another training class. And I said, not a problem, because she's got a couple of girls going through the program, the class now for straight razor shave. So she's going to, once they get certified, they'll have to go through and do straight razor shave my head, straight razor, do the beard line up in the face and stuff. So I have to figure out how to do all that. And I just sit there and get cleaned up for free, basically. I get a free haircut and they get training.
Yeah, you can't beat that. So I love getting the straight razor shaves. As anybody who out there has a shaved head and you've had one, they are very relaxing. Like it's like treat yourself. So I do it every once in a while. It's a nice treat. Even though a lot of the barbershops around here, like they're slowly starting to do them. Like I'm like, like a lot of those big chains don't do them. So you have to find like an actual barbershop. But I think that when I shave my head, I do a better job than they do. Because when I shave my head, I go like, I don't know. I've been shaving my head for so long. Like when I'm done and you feel my head, that shit's smooth as a baby's ass. But it is relaxing. I do like going to get my head shaved. There was a place here. It was one of the chains who actually did it, but it was women, and they'd like massage like your fucking shoulders and shit. I'm in there like,
yeah.
I'm like, how much for a happy ending? I mean, sorry, I meant like how much for an apple juice? I'm like, sorry, I got too relaxed.
Yeah, the girls here, what they'll do is they'll lather up your head, put hot towels on there, let you marinate for a little bit, then come back, lather you up again, then they're around to hot towels, and then they'll basically at that point they'll allow you a third time and start going. They do straight razor shaves. Like if you got a unibrow, they'll pluck the unibrow with wax. They'll wax your nose. They'll wax your ears. And it's a nice relaxing place. All the girls, none of them are stuck up. They're all fun in both locations. They're easygoing. They like to have fun. They have music playing in the background. When I go in, I got to be careful how I talk because of the little kids that come in there. They do a lot of stuff with special need kids that need that.
Nice.
If the kid can't do it inside, they'll do it outside on the sidewalk. They have a mobile trailer that goes to baseball, the little league park there, and they'll do haircuts there. They just did a car show last month. They had the mobile trailer there. They do a show called Cars and Cuts. People bring out their cars and have a little car show, and they win first, second, third place on that. Food trucks. They donate money back to the community as well. At Christmas time, they do a raffle, and they take the money from the raffle and give like the winner a gift basket, but take that money and they use it to buy Christmas presents for underprivileged kids in local schools in the area as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good for them.
They even do. Last year they did a food drive for around Thanksgiving for the food bank. So I mean, they're really community based, and I love everything about how they do things. I mean, the owner's sweet. Her and her husband own the place. Like I said, Trevor's sister, she's the general manager. You got managers at Mechanicsville, managers at Midlow, and all the girls. It's a nice little environment. It's a nice place to go. So if you come down and you're down for a couple of days, you know you're coming. Don't shave your head. We'll go there and get your head shaved for you.
Hey, I'm down. I'm down to do that. I won't lie, man. In my area, and I don't want this to come out the wrong way. I know it will, so that's why I want to say that beforehand. Some of the best barbershops around me are the black barbershops. They are so much fun, and these barbers are fucking so good. Like when they do the straight razor cuts and they like shape you up. It's fucking awesome. I walk out of there looking like fucking Nelly and shit. Like, ooh, you know what I mean? But there's one that I went to all the time, but they kind of rubbed me the wrong way last time I went in there because I know they make those little razors now that you can use that it almost does the same thing as a straight razor cut, but it's not. And the guy, I was like, yeah, I want a straight razor cut. And he's like, oh, well, I can save you money and do this. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like I'll take the straight razor cut. And he's like, yeah, but if I do this, man, like it's not going to take as long. And I'm like, he said it like 4 or 5 times. And I'm like, dude, you know what? Never mind, dude. Like, I don't even want you to shave my fucking head. Like, I know how much it costs. I'm trying to give you my money and I will tip you well. I know it's going to take a little bit, but you could just tell he wasn't trying to do it. I'm like, well, fuck it. Don't do it. Yeah, I'm good. So I never went back.
They have those balding shears as well that kind of just like a thing. It's electric shears. And yeah, they'll get you, they get you close and everything else. But I personally, I don't care for them. I don't like the rubbing on the constant raking of the head back and forth like this. I don't want the head raking. If I want the head raking, I'll go upstairs and do it myself. But there's a place over here who's their competition. I went in there one day and asked for the same thing I normally get, and the girl wanted to use the shears on me. And I'm like, no, I want straight razor shave. Well, this is quick. I don't care. I want straight razor shave. And then so when she sat me down in the chair, she just didn't seem like she really cared. She barely put any lubrication or any lathered up my head. She put a washcloth on my head for all of like 5 seconds and then pulled it off. Didn't wrap it, and then I had the worst razor burn ever on my head. She didn't heat my head up at one time, and that was it. I was just like, really, this is what you're. So I gave her a $2 tip because it was the worst. I tipped her something. I didn't stiff her. I tipped her something, but I tipped her how I thought was appropriate. Poor service. I wrote a review, and next thing you know, I got phone calls from the owner wanting to know what she can do to fix it. And I told her what happened. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Well, you should come back and go over here and see this person here. They're my best person. I'm like, I don't want to see your best person. I just want to see whoever I see. And I said, she goes, I'll give you credit for the $30. Like, you know what? I said, you can keep your credit because I'm not ever coming back. Well, would you mind taking the review down? No, I'm not taking the review down. It's an honest review of your business. And sorry. I'm just not that kind of guy. You're not going to buy a nice review from me for giving me a free haircut after you screwed up the first time. First impressions are everything in our industry as well. And one thing I will tell guys all the time in class, when you walk into a customer's house, you are the company's, you're the first impression of that company. How you look and how you act and how you treat that customer is how that customer is going to expect everyone to be treat them like that. You show up,
Yep.
Not knocking it, but you show up in holy jeans, oil stained shirts, cutoffs, open the door and trash is falling out of your vehicle and everything else. It doesn't look good, in my personal opinion.
Well, it just doesn't look good, no matter whose opinion it is.
Yeah. Me personally, I do not like having stuff on the dash. You get these vans that have like crap all across the windshield. Okay. One, it messes up your window in the wintertime for defrosting your windshield. Two, they're projectiles in case you get into a car accident. And three, it just doesn't look good in my personal opinion. I have a little cubby on the front of my truck that has 2 pairs of sunglasses and some stuff in the little shelf. And then on the left corner, during COVID, I would have my COVID mask, like 3 or 4 COVID masks in that corner of the truck. Now there's nothing there. There's just nothing across the dash. You can see my dash completely. You can see the sunglasses sitting in the little spot on the dash, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's the way it's got to be. That's why, I do monthly truck inspections. But these guys are in there every week between different meetings, whether it's the company meeting on Mondays, the different service meetings. So I see the vans, and we provide, uniforms are supposed to be in certain things, the shirts tucked in, because I 100% agree. You only have one chance to make a first impression. And then when you make a good impression, you don't get a free pass. It's not you get a hall pass to look like shit the next time. You have to keep that up. You know what I mean? As you're doing it. And that's one thing that we've been lucky that, all of our guys, like it, and you wouldn't think this, but like shower, like don't, don't come to work fucking, smelling like BO. And some of you may be like, what the fuck? Like I always shower. Well, there's some people that don't. Like not like every night like you would think. We had one guy that used to work here that I won't say his name. I wouldn't do that to the kid because he's a very good kid. And I don't know if it's, just like his culture or what, but one time we were like bought him deodorant and we're like, bud, like you have to shower before you come, man. Like we can smell you and it's not okay. Like take care of yourself, shave, be cleaned up. I know that the numbers say that somebody who is clean shaven is, supposed to make a better, portray the company better than somebody with facial hair. I get it. I think that, whatever the numbers may say that, but I think your personality and all the other thing goes a long way. I will never be clean shaven. I feel like I look like a fucking, child molester with my face shaved. I've had facial hair forever. Yep. So, but take care of yourself is what I'm saying. Just, be clean uniform, especially residential. It makes a huge difference. Those little things really matter. Shit, dude, so much time fast. I wanted to ask you this question. When you are teaching different subjects, what would you say is the one part or one lesson or whatever that the young guys have the hardest time with? Like you notice you're having to go over it again. Like they have the hardest struggle.
The hardest struggle, I would say for them is, I mean, they understand we do the very first night I do a vacuum pump thing and I challenge them on a vacuum pump stuff. And that gets them a little bit. The hardest stuff for most of them is oil because a lot of them don't do oil. One company that sends us to their guys, they do nothing. They do a lot. They're one of the big oil companies in the Richmond area. So those guys, they understand oil completely. The ones that don't understand it, they have a harder time comprehending it. When it comes to gas, some guys can't comprehend the difference between LP and propane. LP and natural. It's like real simple. Natural 3.5, propane 11.5 to 13. Pretty simple. So it's more or less that there. Other than that, most of the guys will comprehend the superheat and the subcooling. They understand that. Latent heat and sensible heat, they generally get those two confused at times. Geothermal really messes everyone up. So the whole class is lost on geothermal pretty much. Even though we do 1 week of geothermal class training just to show them that it's out there, this is what it is, and this is how to work on it. And they can't comprehend that there is no condenser fan motor, no condenser coil, no defrost, no heat strips. They can't comprehend this, but they understand how the system works refrigerant wise, but they can't comprehend the water loop to refrigerant through the coaxial coil. That's what loses them, every one of them right there. So that's where I have the hardest thing. I tell them, I said, look, unless your company does geothermal work, you're not going to have to worry about this, but I want you to know if you go on a job and you get there and you realize it's geothermal, not to be afraid. Go, okay, I learned this in class. I can figure this out. If not, I will call somebody. Don't be afraid to take a chance at it.
No, make those mistakes, man. Geothermal is just, it's a heat pump. We just use the constant temperature of the ground. That's all it is. I'm not a huge fan of geo. To me personally, I think people just they're never going to make their money back unless they live in that house for 40 years. But as far as working on it, I don't think that, I don't think it's crazy. We don't touch it though. I won't lie. As a company, we don't touch oil anymore. We don't touch geo. Just from a business standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. It's because the fact that some guys do get tripped up. They don't see the similarities between them, and there's places now that's their specialty. So let them do it. And as far as oil, most of the oil companies around here, if they provide the oil, they want to be the one to service it. So you get discounts and stuff. So we just stopped doing it. Plus I didn't want to have to keep going out and doing it because I don't want to do that.
My brother actually called me last week from Massachusetts. And the state is giving a $30,000 rebate to anyone who installs a geothermal system.
Yeah, I'm good. They can keep.
So he in turn called me and asked me about it. I was like, look, Tommy, this is what it may take. I said, it may take $60,000 to $80,000 to install this system in your house. I said, you already got solar panels on your house. I said, you've got a gas boiler. You're like, right? He goes, yeah. I said, okay. So here's the thing. If you're going to go geothermal, this is what I recommend. You're probably going to have 3 or 4 wells drilled in your backyard because they're going to have to go deep because they can't go horizontal because you don't have a big backyard. I said, then you're going to I would recommend putting in a gas furnace with dual fuel on it. He's like, well, why is that? The Earth's crust. I said, Tommy, what happens if the pump goes in the wintertime? What happens if, the evap coil has a leak and they can't get to it to fix it? Or something happens where the heat pump side breaks and, it's gone. He's like, well, I said, exactly. You're going to get rid of the boiler or you can keep the boiler. I don't care. But I would put a gas furnace on there so you have a second form of heat. All this nice brand new ductwork you just had installed. That way, in case you do have a problem, you have a second form of heat on the ductwork system besides your radiator. If you want to keep the radiators, great. If you want to pull them out and get rid of them so you have more room, that's up to you. So he's like, oh, I get the point now. So he's up there and, he's going to figure out because he's got friends who've had mini splits and they have some of the coils have leaked after the warranty or the blower motors have gone after the warranty and the price to repair them. He's like, oh my God, it's outrageous. I said, well, yeah, mini splits cost more to repair, but it also costs less to run. So
everything's expensive for the most part though, I'm sorry. I can't, me personally, obviously not this house because this is the rental, but when I move, I am 100% putting in an inverter. If I can have dual fuel, depending on what it is, obviously I'd like to get, have gas. If it has oil, it's coming out. But I have oil heat in this house, which sucks balls. But I love the inverter technology, man. I just think that once you experience it and you're going to be there for a little bit, I think it's amazing. I think that's why I sell so many because I've had it, I've experienced it, and I think it's fucking awesome. It's the wave of the future, that's for sure. And I think people need to fall in line with that. Don't be scared of it.
Well, I will say this. Back when Train came out with their inverter technology on their systems, the tech rep here in Richmond had a 3-ton 20-SEER 2-compressor system with I think it was like 10 or 15 kW. We'll say 15 kW just to make the numbers sound right. Then the inverter came out. They pulled that heat pump out and put the XI in. So it went from XL to XI, same SEER, same tonnage, same kW. His power bill dropped 20%, and it recorded how many times the heat strips came on in the winter in the heating side, and it only came on 5% throughout the winter time. So that told me this technology is good. It is more energy efficient. And the fact that you're running it on a lower amp breaker versus having that 60 amp breaker for the XL, you're having a 25 amp breaker for the XI. That was just, you're dropping your amps in half.
Dude, my last house that I sold, the fuck is that noise? I redesigned the ductwork upstairs. There was only one system that was undersized, had issues, and I ended up installing 2 of the Carrier green speeds, the 25 VNAs, and all communicating. You would have thought that I had gas heat. See, the problem people make with a lot of those heat pumps only is when they put in the heat strips, they don't put in, the company trying to save money doesn't get the communicating heat strips because it's like another $100. That's what makes the whole thing work. That's when you barely ever use, the fucking heat strips. People don't realize that heat pumps are the most efficient source of heat there is. It's period. It's the data proves it. Am I saying it's the best? That's open to discussion. But as far as it's the most efficient efficient source of heat, my heat pumps I had were fucking awesome. I don't know if I would put in Carrier with my new house, just because it's been hard to get stuff, and we've been doing a lot of Lennox. And if I go heat pump, they have that what is it? The Elite, the EL22. It's fucking badass. That way you're not paying for the fucking the Dave Lennox, the Signature series, but that Elite one's pretty badass.
Yeah, we put a Carrier variable speed 4-ton in my billing clerk's house, and it's been a godsend for her. She loves it. Of course, she came from Carrier, so she was able to get a hell of a price on it for employee use only because she worked at Carrier.
Yeah, I love the Carrier stuff. Like I said, I was a Carrier guy for a long time, but the local Carriers around here, like getting stuff, like Carrier's been rough, Train's been rough, and Mitsubishi. Well, around here, Train, Rheem, and Mitsubishi's all the same supply house, Ferguson. But Carrier's been rough getting equipment and different things. It's been bad. So, I know people because of my dad. I got all kind of connects there. So if I really wanted it, I could. But I'm open to some of these the Lennox we've been putting in. Like I think the S40 thermostat is big, but it's pretty sweet. I'm pretty happy with that, and they're pretty quiet. All the ones I've put in have been pretty badass. So I might do one of those. And obviously I gotta do the whole IAQ route because of my mom and stuff like that, and my wife. So when I move, I'll probably have to make a series of videos on that, changing the system out. I just think the house that we're looking at has 2 systems. It's broken up. So I have to buy a house and I have to buy 2 HVAC systems. So thank God I get good deals.
Yeah, I remember one time down at the beach, my mom had the system replaced, and I got the equipment for her, the company I was working for, and I went down there. And they're like, yeah, it has a hard time heating the house up. Every winter, our power bill is outrageous. So I came down one winter, grabbed my tool bag. I opened the unit up and I looked, and I just shook my head. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So it was a downflow heat pump air handler. And the guys left the factory baffle in there. They didn't order they didn't They said they were going to order the downflow kit. Well, they got the downflow kit, but they didn't put the downflow baffle on there. So, because the supply house I had, didn't have the kit, but the one they had did. So they were going to pick the kit up. They put the rack system in, but they forgot to put the downflow baffle on the A coil. So I pulled the baffle off and finagled it out between the blower and the coil, and took Lynn's straight snips and proceeded to trim down the baffle to where it covered only half the coil on top versus over top and an inch down on each side, to where you're bypassing a ton of air. And as soon as I did that, their power bill dropped dramatically, because now they're using all the heat off the coil and only versus half the coil.
I bet it's crazy. It's funny you say downflow. We had one where another company came out and the people were having, it was a downflow system. They were having an issue saying that the system could never keep up. They had their ducts cleaned and all this other stuff, but they always had issues. Another company told them the system's too small for the house, yada, 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 tried to sell them a new system. I went out there. System size was not a problem. It was in good shape, no issues. Me and one of our guys who's not here anymore. He's actually, that's a whole other story. Using the duct camera, he found that there was in the attic, there was a big ass hole in the fucking return that was sucking in attic air. So, and part of it had like collapsed. So he fixed that part of the return, patched it up, sealed it, all that kind of stuff. And the people were like, "Oh my God, this is like a fucking brand new system. This thing's amazing." And it's like, yeah. It was like a $800 duct repair. It wasn't a whole new system. But now if those people ever do replace it, guess who they're going to replace it with? Us.
Yeah. And, one thing. So, talking about school and education or the guys and stuff, I always told the guys, look, your best service tech is an installer. Because that installer has installed the equipment, they've installed the ductwork, they know how it's supposed to go together. For me, that's how I ran through it. I ran through as a helper to new construction install lead to chain installs to maintenance, and after I was done with installs to service. So I ran through all the positions, and it gives me, as a senior tech, a wider aspect of looking at things to go, why is this system not working properly? I know that I went to one where the system's brand new. We installed it, but they're complaining about these 2 or 3 offices not getting cool. Well, I go up there and it's got the old Owl Flex, brand Flex, with the gray plastic that has literally just disintegrated over the years. And the guys didn't notice it because of where it was at. It was hidden on the other side of the ductwork. They weren't paying attention to it. You're not going to see it where it was at in this attic. And I just went through and looked and found 3 flex leads that had no insulation on them because the insulation had fallen off of them. Well, guess what? We replaced those flex leads and got some money out of the job, and problem solved.
That's why I always say take the blinders off and just open your eyes, man. And I agree with that path, and I would say that probably is the best path. I wish that I would have done that. I think that's why, I can fix anything you put in front of me. I have mechanically inclined. Service is definitely my thing. I can install stuff. I'm not great at ductwork. I can do it. I mean, I'm not retarded. I mean, I can make a fitting and all that kind of stuff, but not like somebody who did it every day, So that's one of the things that I wish I would have been better at. Obviously, I can put the ductwork together. I mean, and, stuff like that. I know how to size ductwork. I've taken design classes. But somebody coming up, I agree that I think that once you learn how to install it and what a properly installed system looks like, what your return size be. Okay, it's this size system. It should be this size filter. Is my supply big enough to handle this size system? Blah, blah, blah. You learn all those kind of things. If you're in an attic, about what size a duct should be if you're trying to do runs. Is it R8? What the insulation value is. And then how many CFM like a 6-inch does? How much CFM a 7-inch? I don't know about you, but when I was coming up, we never used no oddballs. It was like, nope. Every once in a while you'd get a 5 for a bathroom, but normally it was a 4, 6, 8, 10. You know what I mean? You never got any odd sizes. You always just, that's what you had in the shop. But that kind of stuff is good. And then when you learn and you memorize that, when you're looking at a system, you can literally look at it and be like, all right, I got 2 6s and an 8. All right, that's okay. The CFM, this thing puts out 1200. Like, all right, fuck, we have not enough ducks, or we have two, you know what I mean? Like, then that stuff just starts to hit. One thing that I highly recommend is, shit, I bought it for all of our guys, that little cheat sheet, if you don't know. Super cool slide rule. I think my buddy Craig, Migliacci, HVAC or AC Service Tech has something now. Well, it's like that. A duckulator is good to have too, but no, the super cool slide rule. There's an app, and then you can buy the slider that it has all kind of tidbits that for like different duct sizing, superheat and subcooling. Like if you have, high superheat, low subcool, low suction, blah, blah, blah. It's undercharged. Like it just gives you all those little tidbits that maybe you don't remember now in your career, but the more you keep using that, it'll help guide you in the right directions. I think that is I forget how I bought one for all the techs, and it's the best money we spent because a lot of the guys always go back to that. And then they use it enough and they start remembering it. They don't need it anymore. So the younger guys, it'll be the best $20-$30 you spent. I guarantee it. Super cool slide rule. Get it, keep it in your truck, keep it in your tool bag, wherever, and have that resource. It's pretty amazing. Or you can just call Bluon tech support. Call our buddy Vincenzo.
Vinny. Yeah, it's a love for the industry to do it for so long and everything else. I want to say this, we have the highest divorce rate of all the trades. We are 7:30 to God knows when. We don't get off at a 4:00 time like everyone else out there in the trades. We're in high demand come summertime and prime vacation time. We're always busy. We're always hot and everything else. And, when we're in this heat, guys, I will tell you this. I have had heat exhaustion. I have passed out from heat exhaustion. And I passed out with heat exhaustion from driving a box truck, leaving a job from an attic. As I was driving, I passed out and sideswiped a guy's brand new Ford Taurus in front of his house from wheel well to wheel well, split and concave the car some and sliced the doors wide open while the guy was standing in his front yard spreading some mulch. And he saw me slumped over the wheel. The joltation woke me up. I backed up and said, please no, please no, please no. I look back, I look over, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh no. And as soon as I see what I did, I stopped the truck. The guy comes running over and he goes, are you okay? Are you okay? It wasn't cussing me out or nothing. I was like, yeah, I don't know what happened. He goes, you were slumped over. Are you okay? I was like, you were red as can be. I was like, I just came out of a hot attic from over there finishing up an install. It's like, dude, sit here. He went and got me Gatorade and water. I'm on the phone with my boss telling him. I called the cops and said, hey, look, I just sideswiped the car, and the cop came. He's like, what happened? The guy told him, he's like, he was driving. All of a sudden he was slumped over on the right-hand side and he hit my car. And they're like, where'd you come? I told the cop. They're like, all right, you're not driving until you down these 4 Gatorades and these 2 waters before I will let you drive home. And I'll just give you a ticket. And the cop was cool about that. The homeowner was cool about it. My boss, of course, the owner of the company, he was irate because that's how he was. But yeah, it's this industry. We are glutton for punishment when it comes to our personal lives and how we treat ourselves. And if you're out there in the industry working, please, plenty of water on these lovely hot days because I miss it and I love going outside and standing out there for an hour and getting all hot and sweaty going, I miss this already. Take extra shirts with you. Don't take extra work shirts with you. It means you get to do laundry. You got to do laundry. So what? One of the guys took his shirt off up on a rooftop of a building, which we all do when on a commercial property. No one can see us because it's got 5-foot parapet walls. And he had his shirt just kind of tucked in his pocket, pulled the blower door off of the thing, checking the belt, and the blower sucked in his T-shirt.
Oh, shit.
So he had to shut it down, and he had to climb down this 30-foot vertical ladder in the middle of this commercial building in a warehouse, shirtless, walk through the warehouse, go outside to his truck, grab his spare T-shirt, and grab his tools he needed to pull the pulley off the sheave off the shaft to get his shirt from underneath the shaft.
That's fucking crazy.
So, guys, I love y'all, but please drink water. I don't want to. I've seen we've all seen the reports of people out there who've died from heat exhaustion doing heating air in the attics.
Amen. I'm glad you brought that up, and people, you be smart. So first and foremost, I always say this at the end. We all got somebody to make it home to. Make sure you make it home the same way you left. Take care of your bodies. I'm not saying every one of you is got to go in the gym and pump iron, and all that kind of stuff, but take care of your body, like as far as what you eat. And when you hydrate and drink water, just so you know, when you drink water, like you're drinking water for the future. Like if you're dehydrated, like drinking water is going to help, but you're automatically playing catch up. All right. Don't try to be this, ego, like, oh, fucking addicts don't get me. Fuck that. Addicts get everybody. Okay. Protect yourself. All right. Because some of you, your bosses may be great, but something happens to you and you die. Guess what? Business is going to go on. Your family's not. So please be smart. And always remember, the moment that you stop sweating is the moment something bad's going to happen. Okay. Get the fuck out of that attic. If you got to take breaks, then take breaks. Our company, if we do attic installations, they start early. They're done by a certain time. That's where our customers know, because we're going to take care of them. So please be smart. It's also the way you eat, man. Don't be in an attic and, shoving fucking fast food and greasy food in your face, man. Like, I'm not saying every once in a while, but when I started eating different, it's amazing how my body started feeling different. So, Miller Lite. Yeah, you can do that on the weekends, but trust me, and I am horrible. I have a kidney problem, guys. I've had, I'm 40 years old, and from the time I turned 21 till now, I've had kidney stones probably 19 times. I've passed them maybe 5 or 6, but I take medicine every day for my kidneys so that, things don't stick to the lining, calcium deposits and stuff like that. I still have a hard time drinking water, and my fucking doctor gets on me, and they're like, hey, no pill I can give you is going to work without you hydrating and drinking water, you fucking moron. Like, you have to drink water. So take care of yourself. All right. I'm glad that fucking Jimmy brought that up. Take care of yourself. The last thing I want to hear, whether I know somebody or not, on the news is some HVAC tech got found in an attic or something like that, Five Guys is fucking delicious, but it ain't worth dying over. So be careful. Shut your mouth, rookie.
Another thing is, water is better for you than all the Gatorades and Powerades. If you're gonna drink them, drink 1 to every 4 bottles of water. Don't do 4 or 5 Gatorades, Powerades, or stuff like that. Do 1 to every 4 bottles of water.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. You want water. Sometimes the Gatorades are good because of the electrolytes in it. But another thing is, if you're drinking water and you still feel it, some of those companies that have the electrolyte drinks, they're actually really good. Gatorade makes one now. There's one that's literally called electrolytes that helps get that back in your body. A lot of times if you're cramping up, even though you're still drinking water, that's what it is. It's electrolytes in your body. So, do that. Drink water and then get one of those electrolyte things. And the 5-hour energies, all jokes aside with Rookie, guys, I'm always so busy. I'm always going, doing something, working on this, working on that, doing family stuff, doing baseball, going here, that I was drinking 5-hour energies like fucking crazy. And, they're not good for you. I still drink one every once in a while, but not like I did. To be honest, I'll be honest with all of you, what helped me, at 40, and sometimes it happens, I started taking testosterone replacement and TRT, and it's been fucking. I feel like I'm 18 again. No, all jokes aside, I was getting it from somebody I know on the street for a little bit, and it was working. But I think I was taking too much because the fucking wind would blow wrong and my fucking dick would touch my underwear, and I'm like, boing! I'm like, oh my god, I'm in the office. Like, you can't do this. But now that I have a professional doing it and like monitors it and checks my blood, I feel fucking amazing.
Another thing that, guys, get you some salted peanuts. Keep them in the truck, because not only you're sweating out that stuff, is that salt. You need to replace that salt. That's where the cramps come in. Get you a thing of salted peanuts in the hot sun, hot days. Snack on them.
Banana. Yeah, I've heard that, and bananas too. The potassium helps take care of it.
Yep.
So it's it's crazy. I had people. She was a lady. I forget what kind of doctor she was, but she was like giving me this. She's like, "Oh, if you take the certain part water to cranberry juice and then you mix this in there," she's like, "it's the best for hydration." And really, it didn't taste. It just tastes like watered down cranberry juice, really. But she was like, "This is the best concoction that you can do." And I'm like, "All right, lady." She was making it for us all day. I'm like, "I'll drink it if you want to keep giving it." So whatever.
Yeah, the best hydration I have right now is some Jameson and ginger.
That'll do it. That'll keep.
But I can't have that tomorrow. I can't have that tomorrow night. I have to be free and clear of that tomorrow night.
Yeah, none of that. Don't be having that in your system when you're going in for fucking surgery.
But I guarantee you this: tomorrow I will go out and buy 2 bottles of Jameson and 2 liters of ginger ale and a thing of lime juice, and I can guarantee you, after surgery's done and over with, and I'm on the recovery for that week, I'll be having a few drinks during the day just because I will be bored out of my mind. And one of the things I did, with the Army, I told that, with people in the HVAC Army and people at work, I said, look, if y'all need tech support, call me. I'm bored off my ass. And I've gotten some phone calls from some people saying, hey, I need help, and I know who they're calling. I know why they're calling. I answer the phone, tech support, how can I help you? Like, yeah, I've got this going on. I need some help. So I've been playing tech support occasionally for people. Also, speaking of tech support, Miss HVAC Chicks Jennifer, she just posted. She's got her HVAC Chicks has her own Facebook page now. It's not Jennifer's, now HVAC Chicks. And she's got a list on there of when they're doing who's taking what for tech support and stuff. And I saw that she's got it on there, and I was like, Jen, give me Friday. I will take Friday of tech support for you. So she's adding my number to the list for tech supports for her stuff. So so starting next Friday, I'll be tech support for her on Fridays, on top of being a sponsor for them with writing the quizzes and tests like I gave you and everything for her program. I gave her all 3 programs, all 3 quizzes, tests, paperwork, the whole 9 yards, and syllabus, how to run it through for her students as well. So she's got my complete program, and if she needs anything, she calls me. I print it, I make the quiz or test and email it to her so she can give it out. And she even has the books as well that helps them out as well.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, Jimmy's tests and shit that he has are awesome. He sent me tests for everything, and it's been awesome for my guys. We need to get down. It's been so busy, it's been limited, but the ones that I've done it with, it's been fucking amazing. So those are a fucking valuable asset. I can't thank you enough for those.
How's your ex-white shirt working out?
He's actually doing amazing. He's doing really, really good. He loves being here. I think he had to get used to like the change of pace where it wasn't like, go sell, be a piece of shit. Like, hey, I just want you to be honest. Like, I want you to provide every customer with options, and whatever they decide to do, they decide to do. I want you to be thorough, and once he got the hang of it, he loves it. He's doing a fucking killing. He had I think it was like a record month last month. He did good. I'm proud of each and every one of them, but my young bucks are fucking taking off, man. And me and Ryan have put a lot of time into them, so to see what they're doing is fucking amazing. I'm so happy for those guys. They're like 19-year-old kids that are out there fucking tearing it up.
Yeah,
You know, they have an amazing future as fucking service techs. They really do. They have to call me with some technical things sometimes, but which is fine. That's what I'm there for. But you know, their presentation to the customer. Some of them are getting, you know, they're getting system sales with their options on older things. They're killing it on fucking reviews, service contracts. Like they're doing very, very well. So I'm super pumped at what the future holds for those guys. So that's the next generation, man. We literally took those guys from nothing. They knew shit about HVAC, and we put a bunch of time into them. And to see reaping rewards already so soon is fucking awesome. I'm super pumped about that.
Yeah, and I can't wait for next year for you to get with your local tech center and get with their program, their high school kids that do HVAC. I know ours does a interview day where basically there's companies that are basically part of the advisory board for the HVAC program for high school. So my company, where I'm at now, is part of that advisory board. We also go to interview day. So we go there for 2 days in a row. We do the even odd students, and they come through and they interview with us for a job. We had a few guys that were decently looking, but you know, one guy's like, yeah, I want to learn how to do this so I can do this stuff with my dad on the side. And one guy that was like, all right, well, we're not going to train you and hire you if you're going to be sitting there doing work on the side with your dad to go do stuff like that. Another guy, he was interesting, but he lacked the confidence, and he just was like, yeah, I just want to do this because this is what I was told to do, and I'm just looking for a job in it and everything else. So we had, you know, out of the other guys who actually were serious, we only had 2 guys, but they weren't 100% with it, wanting to do it, but they were the promising of all of them. But yeah, so maybe next year we'll hire a high school kid. But yeah, you can hire you a high school kid if they have a local tech center in your area. Get with them, get with the high school program, go try to be on a committee with them, help them out, donate equipment to them, tax write-off for your company. Hey, why not? You can get that kid fresh out of high school. You can train him how you want your knowledge to give into him done. So you can train him on every step of your company. And one thing I will say this, don't just throw him out as a helper and everything else in a parts runner. Take him and put him with the service guys as helper. Put him with the install as helper. Hell, even bring him into the office for a day or two, a month, just so he can see the office side of the stuff that people don't see in the field. I've seen it because I've done it. You see it because you're in there and you've done it as well. You get someone who comes out of the field and into the office for a day to see how the office runs and how many calls they have to field and everything else, and how many times the techs call into the dispatchers to get the next calls, and there's just so much stuff that people don't see and appreciate with those office staff. Now, do us techs out there in the field give the office staff grief because they're sitting in air conditioning and we're up on a roof 140 degrees on a white roof with sunglasses on, trying not to go blind, or a black roof and we're trying to make sure our boots are not melting to the roof? Yes. But I think getting someone in there, they can see all different sides of the company, from not just out in the field to in the office for a couple of times. Just, you know, they'll do it every month, but they say, okay, you're going to work in the office 2 days this month, and that's it. But I want you to learn the office, so see the office stuff and see what happens, so you can see. You're not going to sit there playing your phone. You're going to be doing whatever they tell you to do. Then you put them out in the field. You get them doing every different thing. Put them in service, put them in install, put them on maintenance. If you got a maintenance tech, have the guy ride with the maintenance tech for a week. That way he can learn maintenance. That way this guy in a year's time will have ridden in all sides of the trade, done all of it for your company, and he can get an idea of what he likes better to do, and then you can groom him more towards that position that he wants. You got a guy who wants to stay in installs, you can groom him for that install. You can groom him on duct work. You got a guy who likes the maintenance and doing the cleanings and stuff and is very good at it. You groom him for that. You push him for that. And after he does that for a year or two, move him on up. Put him to service.
No, I agree 100%. That's actually what we do. Normally we put them with is an install helper first, and they do that for a little bit, and they work their way up to be able to do an outdoor unit. and then they go, do some maintenance stuff when they go into service, and then they can ride with the service tech and stuff like that. But I agree, and we do that as far as them seeing the office. Like another thing is some of them girls in the office don't make what those techs are making. So yeah, they're sitting in the air condition, but like my office, like it's like "Bling, hello, thank you for calling Beltway. Oh, okay. Bling, hello, thank you for calling Beltway. Hello. I mean, the phones are fucking they're on. So it's a stressful job as far as what they do, man. It's definitely, it's not simple. And if you think in the office everybody's just sitting around fucking kumbaya all day, trust me, it's not how it is. For the longest time, I wanted to go back in the field, than be in the office. I'd rather be out fixing something than sitting in there trying to put out fires or make sure things don't happen or worrying about what's going to happen next week, next month, next year, trying to plan ahead when it comes to business. But we did a thing too where we make sure that there is none of that, service versus install, service versus, the office and shit like that. And we've had it on times where we'll let, one of the guys come in and answer phones, and we'll let one of the girls ride with a service guy that day. So they see how some of this stuff is. And it was a joke when we first did it. And when it happened, they were like, everybody had a newfound respect for everybody and what they do. It was like, man, fuck that, like I love what they do. You know what I mean? And sometimes the guys would call in and cause I listen to all the phone calls are recorded when they call in. And sometimes the guys would call in frustrated, but it wasn't necessarily that they were frustrated at the office. It was just frustration. And I had to tell them like, hey, I get it. But when you call and do that, you're kind of letting them be your punching bag. All right. So when you call, like, be nice to them. They're in here busting their ass for you, making sure that you're, not running on this side of town to this side of town. You know what I mean? That they're getting you lined up, with the most fluid path throughout your day. So even though it wasn't intentional, like, have a smile on your face. I know you're on the phone, but have a smile on your face, be upbeat, which is the same thing I want them to do when they call you to say, hey, I just want to let you know that we changed your schedule. So rather than you going all the way over here, so-and-so is doing that, and your next call is going to go here. I just want to make sure you saw it. It's not always what you say, it's how you say it.
I am notorious with my ADHD. I get frustrated at times and on things that are being done, and I'll get upset. Like, why aren't we doing it like this? And I'll call in, and I'm just they caught me at the wrong moment. I'm on a job. I'm neck deep in shit on a diagnostic, and they're calling me, hey, how much longer? And it just unfortunately, I snap and say, I will call you when I'm fucking done, and hang the phone up on them. And then they don't call me the rest of the day. And an hour later, I'm finally getting this thing done. I call in and say, hey, I'm sorry. What's next? And they snap at me. I'm like, look, you called me at the worst time. I'm sorry. Well, don't let it happen again. Well, it's going to happen again, unfortunately, because that's how I am sometimes. And you call me at the worst possible time. I have my arms neck deep in this unit, and I'm trying to get this thing figured out and retrace these wires that have completely corroded, and the schematic is shot, and I'm having to hand trace wires. Sorry, it happens. And those girls put up with a lot of stuff in the office as well. They deal with the customers. And one thing is, if the customer doesn't tell the dispatcher or the ladies in the office what is wrong, and they can't type it in properly, then you get out there and the customer tells you something totally different than what's on your dispatch notes. You're like, what are these idiots doing? Remember, guys, it's not them. It's what the customer tells them, and that's why it's there.
Well, plus, and those girls aren't technicians. So sometimes, they know like certain questions to ask, but they don't know, like we would. If a customer says something, we're like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. Maybe we should ask this question, and stuff like that. So just remember that they're not technicians. They may know some terms and what the part's called, because of hearing it in the office and hearing, the technicians talk, but they're not technicians. So one thing that we do, is the girls in the office, we give them a technical rundown. It's basics. We don't expect them to be technicians, but to understand. We have a level in job so they know when scheduling, okay, if a guy's doing a TXV, that's his only call in that window. He can't have another one. He's going to need a little bit of time to do that properly. I don't want the technician to feel rushed. and then they don't rush the guys. If something happens, normally I'll be the one to reach out so that the girls don't have to. And I tell them, I said, if a customer calls in like, hey, the guy was supposed to be here 8 to 12 and it's 11:30, their response to the customer is, hey, they're at the call before you. They're working really hard to provide that customer a 5-star service. I'm pretty sure they're going to be to you as soon as they possibly can. We'll reach out to them, but they'll be to you as soon as they possibly can. Normally that's when I'll call them. And if God forbid something changes, then we'll figure it out.
So.
But damn, dude, we're way over a fucking hour, man.
It happens all the time, man.
Yeah, so we'll start closing this thing out, man. I'm glad we didn't cancel this, brother. I'm glad you came back on, that we could sit here and bullshit about a whole bunch of different things. I'm sorry that it didn't work out live, but we are going to do that when the new studio gets built. You're going to be one of the first ones to come in there and do a show with me. 100%. So thank you so much for coming on as always, bro. I appreciate you, buddy.
Not a problem. I enjoy talking with you and everything else. And unfortunately, I don't know what it is with this new link I have for it. Next time I do, if I'm doing it like this, I'm going to have to get another phone or a computer so I can see the comments. I can't see none of the comments. I know there's 10 people watching my beautiful face, but that's about it.
Yeah, there was some on Facebook too. There was quite a few people on Facebook, but Facebook dropped off, so I'm not sure what happened with Facebook. So I had to click a button to say proceed without Facebook, so it didn't cancel the fucking show.
You don't want that.
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want that. So
I will post do my best to post a Facebook post after surgery on Friday. Maybe I'll even make a delirious TikTok of me being drugged up going, hey guys, with my arm in the sling. I'll try to make something funny about, hey, surgery's done and yay.
Yeah, do that. Or I'm going to try to FaceTime you when you're making those drinks.
Well, you saw those cakes I made, didn't you?
No.
I made there's 2 cakes I made. Last week was a dark chocolate cake with dark chocolate icing with dark chocolate chips on it. I made that last week, and then this week I made a 3-layer caramel cream cake.
Oh,
yeah, I made TikToks of both of them, put them up. Because I'm bored. I'm baking cakes now. That's how bored I am, guys.
Oh, damn. Fucking HVAC guys get bored, you start baking cakes.
That kid loves cake.
Hey, they sound delicious. But well, good luck with your surgery. If God forbid I don't talk to you before then, hope everything's good, speedy recovery, all that kind of stuff. And I'll be in touch soon. I'm gonna close this thing out, buddy.
Everyone else, take care, stay hydrated.
Oh, everyone, thank you guys for coming out tonight, man. I appreciate it. Anybody listen to this afterwards, I apologize about Facebook shutting down. I'm not sure what it was. I'll look at it later. Thank you guys for being here as always, man. I hope you guys listen to that conversation. Remember to stay hydrated, all that kind of stuff. Just be safe. That's first and foremost. Make sure that you follow the podcast on all the social media sites to stay up to date. I know I haven't really been crazy on social media. There's just been a lot of things going on. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for anybody. But I got to get back up and rolling. Just a lot going on right now. Stressed out between work, my mom, and then this whole moving process, I'm trying to sell one house in order to use the proceeds to put towards another house. And I got all this stuff worked out. And when it gets done, it'll be fucking amazing. I'm happy the 28th, I'm going to start my sleeve, my tribute for my dad. So that's cool. Pretty excited about that. But things will start get rolling here soon. And then next Monday, the audio podcast will be back out as usual. Like I said earlier, that was on me. I will also be announcing some giveaways. And yeah, it should be good. So guys, remember, stay safe out there. We all have somebody to make it home to. We want to make it home the same way we left, meaning stay hydrated. Make sure you're getting your sleep at night. Don't be going to work with a couple hours of sleep, especially working in the sun, driving and, falling asleep. Be careful, be safe. All right. Do the little things. Okay. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. Keep learning. Make yourself the best version of you. I don't care if you're just starting out. Like I said, super cool slide rule. Keep these little things. Keep learning to make yourself better. I always I was out there butchering shit when I first left my dad until eventually my dad stopped helping me and I got sick of not knowing. So I busted my ass, put my nose in the books, and I wanted to learn everything I possibly could. Learning this trade almost became an addiction. Like I wanted to know everything, and it was able to benefit me later in my career, like now. And I still want to learn. I want to keep learning and getting better and better and better. So do that. Like my buddy Ben Poole says, master your craft and always, always be the best version of you. All right, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you so very much. I hope you guys are having a great fucking summer. Stay safe out there. I love each and every one of you. I thank all of you for your support. I really, really do. And until next week, I'll talk with you mofos later. All right, peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.